Good morning. This feels very much different today. I feel different eyes on me in the building. This one is for the males. I have so much to say. Fit check, it's only appropriate that I wore this shirt to get into my daddy vibes today. Now, I have a quick disclaimer to start with. So, if you're getting some sort of male rage over what I'm about to say, that is your problem, not mine. However, leave a nasty comment to run my numbers up, and also I will send my men for you in the comments. Enough dilly-dally, willy-wally. Let's get into it. Male gaze this, male gaze that. But whatever happened to the female gaze? Now, girls, there is 90% of you watching this, so please stick around. I get most of my inspo from male fashion anyway, and especially if you watch my channel or our styles are similar, you will find this all very interesting. But also make sure you send this video to your boyfriends, because there are going to be, in fact, 4 quote-unquote, I've called it male realizations in this video. So stay tuned, because you're about to learn 4 key. What did they do when Moses put it on the scribe? Commandments. Yeah, you're about to learn that. Now, whenever you're talking to someone on an opposing side or a different side to you, it's always good to first find a common ground, okay? Now, I think the first common ground, unless you're a famous TikToker boy for his fashion, with a mustache and tattoos and maybe a mullet. I think that we can both agree with the fact that we hate stupid, unintentional, unflattering, doing it because just you want to do it, layering, okay?
You hide my clothes, I'm wearing everything you own.
The fashion boys think they need to do the most, and we're here to break that stigma. I hate seeing these fashion boys throw on anything. It's like you're throwing on your vintage REALISATION, you're throwing on your, what is a boy's shoe called? I don't know, Nike Shocks. The boys wear that? I don't know. You're throwing on any Tom, Dick and Larry thinking that it's all going to look good, okay? But that is not, like, boys are doing the most for no reason. And let me just tell you one thing, yeah?
See you at school tomorrow, baby girl. I love you.
When I was getting all the photos for this video, tell me why it was so disturbing, every boy looking at me. Boys need to relax on their poses. Because Pinterest girls, it's giving nonchalant, it's giving, oh, I didn't realise you took that photo of me. Pinterest boys makes me want to gag. Now, I do genuinely feel sorry for boys, because every male in my life that I speak to about fashion all seems to say the same sort of thing. Because there's, I think, 2, maybe 3 at a push, but I'm going to say like 2 types of online male creators right now.
I had a huge brainwave today. No disrespect whatsoever to these boys, I'm sure they're lovely. Slow living, jorts, loafers. It's this, isn't it?
You've got the ones that are trying to be Rick Owens' nephew, and then you've got the ones whose style is based purely on looking like they read books, particularly women literature books that's carried in a tote bag that has nothing in it. Flimsy tote bag, fill it up.
29,000 every month. Every month they go through this. It's so unfair.
Now, I've always loosely followed male fashion, and I am actually very interested in it, which I've said a few times. And I did do a video, honestly, like a year ago on men's fashion, but it was just like a few photos from Pinterest. But if you do want to know good places, good different media outlets, or like where I find different men's fashion inspiration from, let me know and I'll do that. But one of the rife and booming places right now is the GOAT, my lovely friend Miss Ashley Callaghan. So if you haven't watched those videos already, which I'm sure you have, she's inspired me, honestly, because the men need something different, and I think what they need is maybe a woman's perspective. She said it. Now, as a female, as a woman, I love wearing things maybe a little bit more masculine sometimes, not all the time, but there's definitely a time and a place for it. And I like to think if I were a boy, I would still sort of play with this, is it called androgynous style, and maybe wear things more like stereotypically feminine. You follow? But it is, I don't want to say it's harder, but I do feel for the guys that actually want to dress how they want to dress, but maybe there's like unwritten fashion rules or like unwritten stigma, which I just hope in time can break. And men can stop wearing Nike Techs and go back to the way they were, gentlemen. I forgot where I was going. I got a little bit sidetracked. Okay, I'll give you a few examples, okay? Tank top. I love a tank top. And I'm talking David Beckham. I'm talking Brad Pitt. I'm talking 50 Cent. I'm talking the Jonas Brothers, okay? No matter who you are, what you look like, a tank really can be for everyone. It does give low-key criminal prison convict. But listen, the girls are into that these days. So I think no matter what your body shape, I think most men look good in a vest. And I'm not saying it's strictly feminine, but maybe it could be whatever or perceived that way. And I also love a contrast, especially more so on men. For example, you've got joggers with a trench coat or like really casual trousers with a smart jacket or like a tie, like a polo shirt with like a scruffy little flick edge collar up, like not full on posh boy but like half boy but just came home, like boy that works in London at an IT job, goes out for the night with his mates, comes back in the morning so he's scruffed up and like he's got the sleeves rolled up, you know, the man's been hard at work. And a good point for my visual learners out there, because this is in fact a video you can sit down and eat to, because I saw this guy saying, why is there no more YouTube videos that I can eat to? Oh, I feel that so hard. And there really is only two people that like scratch the itch in my brain when I'm eating. But this is definitely a video that you can sit and eat to because it's stimulating for you. But, what was I saying? Look at the boys dressed for Jonathan Anderson's menswear debut this weekend. Or the past week. I was honestly starting to think that men were a lost cause until I saw these photos. It's bringing this vibe back. Like, the girls want you to start dressing again. We do. We really, actually quite do. What, in my opinion, takes a boy to a man is the shoes. More specifically, if a man is wearing boots over trainers. Personally, my two faves right now is a para boot or a Doc Marten, but specifically, I think they're called like the monkey something or like vintage monkey. I actually can't remember, but I have those in a brown, but oh man, I wish I got them in the black because they look so much better. But you can tell a lot by someone's shoes. I feel like a structured, solid shoe is giving, he's my rock, you know? Oh, him? He's my constant, you know? Like, what do they say? Like, the house built on sand is merely nothing, but the house built on the rocks is gonna stand the test of time. What is it? What's the expression? It's basically like, if you got a good foundation, you're set, you're built, you're strong. But let's take something even as simple as a pair of joggers, right? Let me say, we, women especially, maybe you guys, but I don't know what you pay attention to and what you don't these days. But we can definitely tell the difference between even a good pair and a bad pair of joggers. Do you know what I'm saying? But that honestly goes for anything. Like, it's always better to wait and save up until you find the right secondhand or the right version of something, because it's better to have a few more it's better to have a few more intentional clothes. No, it's better to have a few intentional clothes rather than abundance of crap. Also, just thought I'd put out there, I like a man in a cardigan, but there's definitely a fine line between a man in a cardigan that I like and a man in a cardigan that I don't like. I think if it looks a little scruff, then I like it. But if it's giving like, actually no, that's too direct. Now boys, let's address a common excuse. It's hard to dress because it's so fashion, so female focused. To that I say fairs. Like, you are right there. In my opinion anyways, I think that is quite a normal thing to say. So I do feel for you in that way. But I say, when you're given a menu of 5 options as opposed to 25 options, is it not merely easier to choose what to eat? Food for thought. Male realization 2. What men tend to forget about is detail. But detail is everything. When buying something, no need to go for the loudest thing by any means. In fact, quite the opposite. Quite the opposite indeed. And when it comes to buying something with good details, what does that mean? Usually buying something secondhand, doesn't it? Because they put way more time and intention, and we had our clothes for way more longer. I saw a TikTok and it was like, is it under consumption or am I just wearing something for a normal amount of time? I thought, facts. Even something as simple as like a denim jacket or a chore jacket. Women, we notice these details, okay? We can just look at a denim jacket and probably you, if you're a guy and you're into fashion, you will as well. You know when you see a normal denim jacket versus a nice vintage denim jacket. There's so many more Tom, Dick and Larrys that denim jacket has as opposed to the other one. No matter what the price tag is, that does not, £5, £500. Next up on my list, I have, actually, let's get into some specific things now. And I am going to talk about silhouettes and things like that in a minute. But first, let's just break this down. I've got vintage graphic tees. I love it when guys wear something that they love, or like a band tee, or a plain top with writing on. I don't know why I really like that. But you know when men say it's sexy when women have a hobby? I think it's sexy when a man can actually tell you something interesting about the shirt that he's wearing. But I can't lie. I think a sick vintage, okay, don't misquote me there, t-shirt actually carries a lot for me. I mean, this is just rubbish. Like, this is rubbish. But I mean, like, genuinely, and I don't mean Urban Outfitters kind of way. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A cool vintage top, but without doing the most, without having colours upon colours on it. Male realization 3. Buying something from Uniqlo does not mean you have good style. In fact, I actually think the opposite. Period. I agree with that. I think they do have good basics, but let me tell you, I can tell a Uniqlo garment of any kind, whether that be sock, whether that be vest, whether that be men's t-shirt. You could be stood. Hang on. When I like to make my point, I like to make my point. You could be stood 1.60934 kilometers away. And you know what that equivalents to? 1 mile. And I could see your Uniqlo t-shirt from there. We need to change. We need to get rid of the Uniqlo now. No, don't get rid of it. We need to switch it up. There's so many other brands out there. You just need to do your research. Next up, we've got a neck scarf or a bandana. And it adds... Wow. Who am I? CGI who? It adds so much to an outfit. My older brother does this a lot with chore jackets and wearing a neck scarf or a... What is it called? What's it called, y'all? I've got it written down here. Bandana, okay, I forgot what I said. Okay, on to my next point. Oh yeah, neck scarf and bandana. I think this is for the guys with a bit more va-va-voom, if you will. This isn't for everyone. Not everyone can pull this one off. So you got to know your style, and I think it's a simple yes or no if this could be your style. Next up on my list, chore jacket or vintage military style jacket. Now, I don't love colour. Depends. But I can be scared of it sometimes. But I think a blue vintage chore jacket as well as like a neck scarf is a good way to bring in colour. Now, this is where you got to know your skin tone. And I'll get to that bit in a minute, okay? Because that is definitely something guys forget about. If you know blue doesn't suit you, go for a vintage military jacket because that's green and that'll probably suit you. But if green doesn't suit you, go for the chore jacket. But me and Jude, my, how do I say, the better half of me, if you will. We've only just realised in the past year, like, we are pretty much the same colour palette. I think I can wear slightly darker colours, but it's so important to know what palette you are because it's so good, not just for clothing, but for the hardware on your clothing or on your bags and for jewellery as well. Are you silver or are you gold? It genuinely doesn't vary that much unless you get like significantly darker in the summer as opposed to in the winter, then maybe it will vary. Or maybe you wear both. I like to mix it sometimes, but I know silver suits me way more than gold. But boys, I can't do this one for you. I'm afraid this is gonna have to be your own homework. Now, when it comes to pairing jackets with jeans, it's so important to understand your silhouette, which my friend made sure to tell me before I filmed this video to include that because men need to be taught about silhouettes. I personally think if you're shorter, what looks great is trousers that sits just a little bit lower than the waist without it being overly baggy. Yeah, it definitely takes a while to figure out what looks good for your silhouette, but look at how his shirt is like cusping on the top of it, like skimming on the top of it, but not cropped. Please never cropped. Please never ever crop. Don't crop your jacket. I rap. Now, something that's so important about this section is knowing your torso, if it's long or not, which is a weird word to say out loud when I say torso. It feels wrong, okay? But you got to know if this bit's long or not. Look, here is a visual explanation. Okay? Low-rise jeans touching the top, like just below your waist, can elongate a shorter man's frame. And this is why it works visually. By the way, I'm reading this bit, okay? When a shorter guy wears his jeans slightly lower on the waist and his top ends right at the top of his jeans, it creates the illusion of one long, unbroken vertical line from chest to feet. If your top hits right at the waistband and not above it, there's no harsh horizontal break, which means the eye travels down smoothly and elongates your upper body rather than chopping it up into obvious top half, bottom half sections. A lower rise subtly shifts the waistline further down, giving the illusion of longer legs when combined with a slim to straight leg pant, which if I was a boy I would do, because I'd probably be a short king. Yeah, because this is what I do anyways. I'm a shorter girl and I love the look of being like longer, like because I feel short and stumpy. I feel like Humpty Dumpty. I might cut that bit out. What was I saying? Now, according to Google, not me, if you're 5'11" or up, you're considered tall. Congrats. Although we don't care about it. That's only a men thing that y'all be putting on yourselves for no reason. But anyways, Google is telling me that you should be wearing drop shoulder tees because drop shoulder tees have seams that extend past the natural shoulder line, creating a wider, slouchier silhouette. On taller guys with longer torsos and broader frames, this adds balance out with their height, preventing them from looking lanky or narrow. However, you can take this advice if this is what fares well to you. But I do not agree with that one bit. Maybe, you know where it's like, okay, dress for your body type, and you see these like Vogue articles of women 10 years ago saying, if you have this, you should put a big chunky belt around your waistline because it will cinch you in, and wear stripes. And like now we know that there's so many different ways to do it in a less like wear the tightest corset and you'll be skinny queen. Like just because this is what is maybe facts does not mean it's like good advice. Now here is my real good advice. Personally, I am a sucker for a true vintage 70s American look, whether that be subtly done or more over the top. There's definitely a time and place for it. But I would say online, I've seen boys saying taller boys should be wearing baggy clothes. But like I say, I could not disagree more. I think although you can play around more with layers than if you were a little bit shorter, I'm just saying avoid anything baggy, anything over top, anything cropped. Ooh, don't be wearing anything cropped, especially if you've got some height to you. I think the only way you can pull off a tight cropped little cutesy top is if you're wearing it in a sick 70s, like rocking a mullet to a festival, moustache loving Elvis listening kind of way. Now, we're nearly finished, kids, yay. Now onto jeans. I think men often think skinny or baggy, but no in between. But let me praise my man for a minute. He tailors most of his clothes, but especially his trousers. And let me tell you, it's a game changer. And I think with jeans, getting a good pair and tailoring them, you don't need anything else. Maybe one other pair of trousers, but a man with a good jeans. And like with us women, it's hard. Like our weights fluctuate all the time. You know, once a month we go from skinny legends to like, I'm not trying to get cancelled, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, sometimes my jeans don't fit, and there's nothing wrong with that. But guys, y'all be saying the same. Your hormones are pretty placid, baseline level to me. Like, y'all don't be fluctuating from week to week. But that is why I think men can definitely get away with tailoring things more than us, because you'll probably have it for longer than us. But get a beautiful belt. Jude's got a vintage Armani belt that he always wears. It gets complimented on because it's subtle. It's not screaming. It's not doing the most. But it's so beautiful, and every time he wears it, I think if I was a skinny legend like him, I'd wear it, but I don't think that belt would fit me. Also, an unpopular opinion. I'm not be trying to say the word hate, but hate dark denim. Whoa. Boys, this is what I'm saying. You're so loud. Please quiet down. Okay, I love dark denim in a real salvage, true vintage way, where you look at it and you go, that thing is rugged. You know, wait, hang on. I forgot my point there. Oh yeah, dark denim. But I think you can definitely tell between their sexy dark denim, they're nice, and they're just cheap looking ASOS men's denim. No shade though, no shade. Now, if you guys want to see more general stuff, follow along. I've got a Pinterest board. I'll put it on screen. I'm just filling in the time to talk so that you can look at all the photos while I finish talking. But like I said, I have so many fashion sources for men. I follow so many cool fashion brothers online. I know the places, and the places isn't always from men. So now that you're finished over here, if you haven't already, which you have, because why would you be here otherwise, go and watch Ash's video. Hashtag Ash shoot. Hashtag Ash soup. Hashtag Ash supremacy. There we go. But for reals, if your man can't dress, send him this. But tell him to stop the video before I say that. Okay. Send him this, and also tell him to go type away at the keyboard what he hates that I've said, or what you disagree with, or wait, no, I already said that, or what you agree with. But I'm up for a debate, kids. Wait, Kat, wait. You've missed one. You said but there was going to be 4 male realizations and you've only done 3, correct? Well, if you stay to the end of this video, congratulations, I guess. So, with this all said and done, would I fall for a Central C looking, dusty kneecaps looking, roadman, a white boy talking, Nike tech wearing, skinny grey joggers wearing boy? Yes, I would, okay? Because I've been there before. Say less. So the final male realization. When women say it's all about the personality, they actually aren't lying. But take notes from this video. Goodbye to the man on the video. Rack the 10% to 20 more. If one man here sends a video to his brothers, I'll be at 20%. Subscribe to me and follow me on my Instagram, because you never know when I'm going to post. And I actually have 3 more menswear videos lined up. You want to know what they are? Well, gosh darn it, you're going to have to wait, because I sure as heck ain't going to tell you. Love you. Not the men, though.